You guys, I was so excited to test out this palette today. I was so excited, okay? And I opened it up and I got a nice surprise inside. Are you ready? I'm on a whole nother level of frustrated right now. Your girl will be making a trip back to Ulta today. Or tomorrow. I'm just so frustrated. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you guys are here today. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a review and demo on the new Milani Gilded Desires eyeshadow palette. This is a new palette from Milani that they recently launched, and I'm super excited to give my thoughts on the palette and share them with you guys. I'm also doing a demo, so I'll be using the palette on camera and creating this look that you see here. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. So if you guys are interested in hearing my thoughts and seeing a demo on the palette, definitely keep on watching and we'll get to blending. Before we get into the demo and application of the eyeshadows, I wanted to just give you guys a quick overlook and view of the palette. So let's start off with the packaging. You can tell that they did put some time into the packaging. It has a very beautiful gold metallic covering on it. It has a little sunburst design on it, which is super nice. Once you turn to the back, they have the layout of the palette and all of the names of the eyeshadows. It does give a little bit of information about the theme of the palette. It is a go from desk to date night glam with this opulent all-in-one eye and face palette. Mix and layer textures and shades to create your own finished look. So this is a palette that you can take and do a very beautiful day look with it, but there are also those darker shades in there where you can go to a night look if you would like. So it is a very universal palette, whether you want to go for a simple day look or a night on the town kind of look. You can tell they put a good amount of time and thought into it. It feels very heavy duty, so it seems like a good palette that you could travel with. Once we open up the palette, you can see the palette. It is super, super beautiful. So you definitely have your neutral, everyday, warm tones, but you also have your pops of color, you know, those vibrant colors that you can pop into the crease. So it does come with 12 eyeshadows and 2 highlighters. There are 4 matte shades and 8 shimmery / metallic shades. There is one shade that I almost considered to be a matte shade, but it has the slightest sheen to it, so I didn't want to consider it a matte. Also, the palette does come with 2 highlighters. You have your silvery highlighter and then your gold highlighter for those more warm tone bronzy days. So let's go ahead and get into swatches, and then after that we'll get into the demo of the palette. The first shade we have is Naked Truth, which is a more neutral shade. It has a yellow warm undertone to it, and it would be a good shadow to set your eyelid primer with. Next we have Champagne Wasted, which is a pink champagne metallic shade. It's super beautiful, has a nice champagne pink undertone to it. Next we have Love Addict, which is also a metallic shade. It's a more so burgundy red. We have Desire for Gold, which is a pretty yellow metallic shade. Definitely has a warmer undertone to it. It has a little bit of gold glitter. Next we have Just Bronzing Around, which is a bronzy copper shade. It has a warm undertone and has a little bit of gold sparkle in it, but definitely more of a copper color. Next we have the Olive of My Life, which is a brown glittery metallic shade, and it has some gold glitter in it as well. On the other side, we have Sweet as Honey, which is a light transition shade. I don't know if it's really coming up on camera, but it's a light pink, which would be good for the transition shades for those burgundy colors in the palette. Next, we have Most Covet Rose, which is a pink shade, but also has a yellow duochrome side to the color. Swatch that one more time so it actually comes up on camera, but it is such a beautiful color. It's more so of a peachy color with a little bit of gold reflex to it. Next we have Crazy for Coco, which is a brown with a slight sheen to it. Next we have Time to Unwind, which is a wine burgundy red color, one of my favorite shades. Then we have Would You Join Me, which is a dark matte brown, has a slight warm undertone to it. Okay, so we have all of the shades here, so it's a very nice palette. Like I said, I really like how you have your neutral tones you can choose from, but you have those pops of color when you really want to step out of your comfort zone. I'm very impressed by the highlighters. They have a lot of pigment, and when they are applied onto the skin, your highlight is popping and your skin is glowing, girl. So they do swatch very well. I don't notice any patchiness, any streakiness. They're just so beautiful. I would have to say my favorite shades are the metallic shades. They just have so much pigment and maybe a little bit more pigment than some of my high-end shadows. I did forget to mention the price of the palette. It is $20 on Milani's website, and I purchased it from Ulta Beauty for $19.99. It's definitely not the cheapest drugstore palette out there, but for the quality of the shadows and the amount of shadows that you get in the palette, it's definitely worth the money. So I am going to be doing a simple eye look with the palette today, but I wanted to show you guys on camera so you can see how the eyeshadows perform. So let's get blending. So my eyelids have already been primed and set, so I'm gonna jump right into shadows. We're going to go ahead and take the color Naked Truth, this light shade, and I'm just going to blend that into my crease. I'm just gonna do a very light look today, very shimmery, very natural, very bronzy. So we're not gonna get too crazy today, but I wanna show you the minimalistic side of this palette. And of myself, because I never do anything very natural, honestly. Okay, and I am going to take a little bit of Crazy for Coco, this light brown right here, and I'm taking a super light amount, and I'm just going to lightly blend this into the crease. We just want to lightly contour the eye, so I don't want to go in it with anything too dark, just a little something to define the eyes. And then I'm going to take the color Just Bronzing Around, this copper gold, and I'm actually just gonna pop this on the eyelid with the finger. Okay, just went in, did my foundation and bronzer, so while I'm baking, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the lower lash line. This palette does have quite a bit of fallout, so that is something that you want to consider when you're doing your makeup, whether you want to do your eyeshadow when you have your powder on under your eyes, or if you wanna do it like me and do it even before you start foundation, that's an option as well. Just wanted to give you a heads up. So we're gonna take the first shade we used, the Naked Truth shade, and I'm going to buff this on the lower lash line. And that wraps up this review of the Milani Gilded Desires eyeshadow palette. Overall, it is a very beautiful palette. It has lots of good colors in it. You have your neutral go-to colors, and then you also have your pop of colors. The pigmentation is amazing. They blend out very well. So if you're trying to save some money and you don't want to splurge and spend $50 or $60 on a high-end eyeshadow palette, I would definitely recommend to try out this palette. For the quality of the packaging, the shadows, and overall just the product, I would definitely recommend this, guys. For the quality of the packaging, the eyeshadows, and just overall the whole product, I just think this is definitely worth the money, especially if you're trying to save some money. So you guys have a fantastic day. Jesus loves you so much, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye, guys.